The evolution of the boy band.
Boy bands, to me, are a bunch of guys that play instruments and are absolutely epic. But in the media eyes, they're a bunch of guys that sing and normally from some sort of reality show, which I think is terrible.
Boy bands are made up of 4 to 5 guys, younger usually, and they all just sing.
When you say boy bands, it brings to mind sort of 4 to 5 hand-picked pretty kids, usually with some dark Machiavellian Svengali behind them somewhere.
This may sound scientific, but this is the kind of feature that does exactly what it says on the box. Seek to understand the boy bands of today, how they came about, who came up with what idea, and why they do what they do, the way they do it, sing that is, perform and entertain. Hopefully we shall all have an even greater affinity for these musical phenomena, or at the very least get some good music out of it. And it starts now.
But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one who compares with you.
You really got a hold on me.
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 Baby, I don't want you, but I need you. Don't wanna kiss you, but I need to, though you do me wrong now. My love is strong now. You really got a hold on me.
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 Baby, I love you, and all I want you to do is just hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me.
The late 1890s that our journey starts. 1890s North America, where vaudeville entertainment and Tin Pan Alley song publication are at their peak. It's around this time when a style of singing and performance, which would later become a genre in its own right, has grown in popularity. I'm referring, of course, to barbershop singing, or what some call close harmony singing. You might remember this style from Disney fairy tale animation films and cartoons, where a quartet of men dressed red or blue and white sing in close harmony. Well, the idea was based on the new and upcoming type of music in the late 19th century. Barbershop quartets had developed over the years and were usually started by African-American gospel choir singers. Usually men. Slavery had been abolished and many African-American men sought to use their musical skills to capitalise on their newfound freedom. The success of barbershop quartets can be attributed to the ease of recording that existed at the time. It was easier to fit 4 singers around a recording horn in comparison to a full ensemble. As a result, competition grew fast. Barbershop quartets had become a powerful symbol of male camaraderie and was a nostalgic reminder of Victorian masculinity. Between 1910 and 1915, the popularity for barbershop quartets began to wane, and it had become more of a fraternity activity among singers. Granted, it might have got a lot of support from vaudeville, but it needed a revival. The revival was triggered in 1915, when barbershop music was modified by dance music and jazz for a more commercial sound and groups like the Mills Brothers. This newfound popularity was carried forward into the Second World War, where the earlier formed Barbershop Harmony Society began recruiting singers to promote the activities in the military. It soon became a morale-boosting activity for the troops that received a lot of media exposure. Barbershop quartets soon became a wholesome, family-friendly, patriotic and creative activity that had quickly gained popularity across the world.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him two lips like roses and clover. Then tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him the word that I'm not a rover. Then tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Oh, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
In the United Kingdom, the formation of barbershops was based on the same repertory musical style of that in the USA, even though the cultural significance it held in North America differed. Over the consequent years, barbershop singing, which was now a music genre in its right, lost popularity, particularly because a lot of the singers were ageing and dying, and younger generations were not as interested. The society took this upon themselves and created outreach programs for younger talent, an effort that is still at work today. Many groups to this day start out in one form or another of close harmony singing. It is one of those styles that highlights the raw vocal talent of the artist, unedited and unsynthesized, just talent. But on a wider scale and as a genre, it served as a major influencer of yet another genre of music, doo-wop.
My name is Lynn McDowell and I'm the Senior Communications Manager at the BPI. The BPI is a trade body in the UK which represents record companies, big and small. We have the 4 major record companies within our membership, which are Universal, Sony, EMI and Warner, and more than 300 independent music companies, either involved in sound recordings or generally interested in the business of the record industry. According to my research, the earliest form of a boy band was back in the late 19th century with the barbershop quartets. That moved on then in the 1940s and 50s to doo-wop, which was jazz and blues music.
My name's Baz Warren. I have been playing music in bands. Well, I've been playing guitar in actual fact for as long as I can remember. Been in bands since I was 16. Was in a Sunderland band, quite a famous Sunderland band in the early 80s called the Toy Dolls. After that I formed my own band called Small Town Heroes, which went on for about 15 years, and that's how I met the Stranglers, and now I'm the singer and one of the principal songwriters. When I think of doo-wop, I think of kids on the corner in kind of America, predominantly black Americans, young black Americans in Harlem, and kind of street, Berry Gordy, Motown kind of street corner, you know, people doing it for themselves, fantastic singers. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I suppose in a way, yeah, you know, your bands like the Shirelles and Chantels and you know, I can definitely see the lineage, I can see the connection, and how it's developed. I don't think people taking someone and putting them in another situation with other people, I don't think that's a new thing.
Write me a letter, say I'm still your fella, 'cause I'm lonesome, lonesome as a man can be.
'cause I haven't been myself since you said goodbye to me. Yes, I wrote my gal a letter, and this is what I had to say. Yes, I wrote my gal a letter, and this is what I had to say. Man, you know how I feel if you ever had a gal like me. I said, let me hear from you, baby, let me hear from you right away. Yes, let me hear from you, baby, please let me hear from me. 'Cause I haven't been myself, baby, since you went away. When you were here with me.
Doo-wop, a subgenre of rhythm and blues, as well as performance style, developed as an urban music for the big cities in the USA from 1949. It was derived from then popular Tin Pan Alley music style and was created to similar standards. The vocal performance style in doo-wop ranged from black gospel, jubilee singing and group harmony. Groups like the Orioles and the Cloves are said to be among the first acts of their kind. However, artists like Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby and Bill Kenny from the Ink Spots popularised doo-wop by incorporating it into their music. So in the late 40s, well-known secular groups like the Mills Brothers, the Deep River Brothers and the Delta Rhythm Brothers, who became as famous as barbershop singers, incorporated doo-wop in their repertoire. It was the Ink Spots who had a lasting effect on the industry, as they quickly gained visibility and were popular among both black and white audiences. However, even with all their success, the Ink Spots' music was deemed pre-war, and after the Second World War, tastes had changed. It was then that another group, the Ravens, became famous and were dubbed the greatest group of them all. Like the Ink Spots, the music followed the Tin Pan Alley standards, but what set them apart from the rest was that they also played original blues compositions and novelty numbers. While the Ink Spots' music was seen as lacking in passion, the Ravens' music pulled on the emotions of a younger generation that were not necessarily from gospel backgrounds or blues traditions. This music appealed to the need for something different, something more exciting, plus they were stunning live. So what significance to the music genre did they bring? Well, for starters, they often featured dual lead, solid harmonies with a falsetto singer and a strong bass vocal. Their arrangements were dynamic in tempo and had a jazzy, catchy, low-key coolness to them. But as groundbreaking as they were, it was the Orioles that were given the title of the first true rhythm and blues vocal harmony group. One of their first hits, It's Too Soon to Know, which was written by the group's manager, Deborah Chesler, was proof of this. This act, together with the Clovers, took cues from the Ravens' success and style to establish the R&B we know today. Following doo-wop, another phenomenon was taking place in the United States. This was the birth of Motown. Artists from both today and yesterday credit Motown as a source of inspiration when it comes to the style and sound of their music, regardless of genre. In the 1960s, Motown was a product of the vision and drive of a then employee of a car assembly firm and professional boxer, Berry Gordy. This was the man that had a good ear for good music, well, seeing as how he grew up in the doo-wop era. While he wasn't a performing artist, he was an excellent songwriter and a good judge of talent. It was this talent that led him to open a record company, naming it Motown, an amalgamation of the name Motor Town, which referred to Detroit at the time. It was through this company that he began writing and creating music with the likes of Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson. Some of his first hits were tracks like Shop Around by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles and Please Mr. Postman by the Marvelettes, and you could still hear the doo-wop influence here. With the success he was receiving, he decided to start his own record label, Tamla, and began signing artists and creating a distinctive sound. Eventually, Gordy developed more than just a sound. He had created an image and style. From the artists he signed to the songwriting and production of the music, to the look of the artists, he had created a new experience, not just for the fans but for the music industry. Motown became the premier soul music sub-style of the 1960s, and rhythm and blues was never the same. It would be impossible to trace the development of boy bands without looking at some of the great acts that were part of the Motown sound.